After seeing all the information about the new Power Ranger series, we now need to take a closer look at the costumes, as this is both exciting and very important. The costumes are one of the biggest concerns in the reboot, as this was one of the worst flaws in the 2017 movie, and no one wants that to happen again.
There's a slap for you! Slap, slap, slap!
Although this new Mighty Morphin series starring NinjaKidz is not the series that will be released on Disney, it is still part of the franchise reboot and Hasbro's promotion of the new toys. That's why they've invested a lot of money in this new series, and we can see that in the costumes. We are going to analyze the Rangers' costumes, but we are also going to analyze the villains' costumes, as there are some changes that we should mention. These costumes were designed by Tokujay, and there had long been rumors that he was going to be the creator of the costumes for the first reboot that was cancelled. For this reason, we had all lost hope of seeing this great artist's designs used in an actual series, but now we have all those costumes, and they look spectacular. Let's start with the Rangers' costumes, and we won't analyze each Ranger since they all have the same details but with their own style. In the digital design, we can see that the designer gave the costumes texture, something we have mentioned many times. On this channel, we have said many times that textured costumes are the best solution for a hero to look powerful and at the same time have the flexibility necessary to fight. These textures have different patterns, lines that have a lot of relief, and this was highly respected by the people who created the costume. Something very impressive is that the chest has the design of each coin, but only in the form of relief and not the actual coin. Some people have criticized this because, since the 1995 movie, we have seen that the coin on the chest was one of the best elements of those costumes, but I think the designer of these new costumes was quite creative and was able to create his own version, taking inspiration from the 1995 costumes. The helmet has also changed a bit, especially the mouth area, as the designer never added lips, and I think it looks good in that style too. These helmets have some additional lines to give them more dynamism and create a more futuristic or modern look. Another thing to mention is that the forearms and boots end differently than in the original costumes. These actual costumes have some different details when compared to the artist's original design, but this is normal. Something very curious is that in the original design, the costume has something on the neck, but in the leaked photos when the actor wears the costume, it does not have that on the neck. However, in a photo where the costumes are on a mannequin, the Red Ranger's costume does have that part on the neck, so we don't know if they are going to use it or if they discarded it because it didn't look good when the actor wore the costume. Now let's talk about Lord Zedd's suit, as it is one of the easiest suits to analyze because they decided to make it very similar to the original suit. The truth is that in the photos I've seen, the suit looks a little stiff, but all the other details look quite similar to the original Lord Zedd. What I like most is that it looks a lot like the 1995 Lord Zedd, since the one we saw in Dino Fury looked like he had been training for 28 years. One important detail is that the helmet is a little different, and I think I even like it better than the original version because it looks eviler. The other suit that is very similar to the original suit is Goldar's, but it has a noticeable change. Goldar has had many different designs over the years, but in the original version, the red part was not as bright, but rather opaquer and darker, almost flesh-like. We don't know if the person wearing the costume in these photos is the right one, but in this new version, Goldar looks very thin, and he has always looked very strong. The positive aspects are that the face looks impressive. I would even say it's the best face this character has ever had. Unfortunately, because the body is very thin, the head doesn't match the body very well. We don't know if they will make any changes in post-production, because after modifying the colors of the final product, everything can change and improve. The next costume I want to analyze is Finster's costume, and now that more photos have been leaked, we can analyze it better. In this photo, we can see Finster's head in more detail, and we can quickly notice that it is quite different. This design looks more evil and not as relaxed as the Finster we always saw, but despite this, it still has the same essence. The eyes look different, and the mouth is the most changed part, as it looks like he has teeth or something similar. We assume that the clothes the actor is wearing are Finster's clothes, and this does change quite a bit since the original character's clothes were gray and blue. Despite this, as I said before, this costume maintains the essence of the character, and that is always the most important thing. The last villain costume we need to analyze is Rita's, and I left this analysis for last because it is the most different costume in the entire series. Some say that this costume is inspired by some designs from the comics, but I think it's just another modern variation of this spectacular villain. Although we are supposedly seeing Rita in these photos, we don't know if the costume is incomplete and perhaps still missing some accessories. In this photo, Rita has nothing in her hair and also has dark hair, but the original version had white hair. There is a leaked photo in which we can see something that appears to be what Rita wears on her head in the comics, so it is very likely that this costume is still missing some additional accessories. What I like most about this costume is the shoulder area, as it gives her a magical and evil look at the same time, but also gives her a space-like appearance. In many of the different versions of Rita in the comics, she has a cape, and it seems that they wanted to implement that in this version. This cape is dark red, and I'm not sure if I like it since the costume is black. I think the cape could have been a more intense color, which would have helped the costume look better. The gold parts are spectacular, and the space-themed parts also look good, but they are not the best part of the costume. I think the best part of the suit is the texture, as it gives us the feeling that it is not a simple, cheap fabric. The staff is more similar to Rita's from the 2017 movie, as it is gold throughout, but we will have to wait for the series to start to see if they will add any lighting details with special effects. Now I want to finish by analyzing the White Ranger's costume a little, as it is quite different from the other Rangers' costumes, which is normal since that costume always had different features in the original series. In this photo, we can see that his shield has many different textures, which makes it look more real. We can also see that all the gold-colored parts have an incredible texture and the color looks very realistic. The suit has gold lines, which is one of the most spectacular features of this suit. The only thing I don't like is that the gold part of the helmet is a different color from the gold part of the suit, which makes it look a little bad. All the suits in this new series are spectacular, and we must wait for the first episode to premiere to better appreciate all the details when we see them with higher quality cameras. If you liked any of these costumes, like this video and subscribe for more information about the new Power Ranger series.